Why are people with anxious attachment addicted to emotionally unavailable partners? The first reason is that this is a familiar dynamic for them. They grew up with inconsistent love and attention. One day their parents were present, the next day they were distant. This created an unhealthy framework or model for not only how they relate to others, especially in romantic relationships, but also of how they relate to themselves. Of course, growing up with this dynamic makes it familiar, and our brain craves the known, even if this known leads to pain. The brain's main job is to keep you survive, not make you happy, and that's why it's going to do anything it can to keep you within the boundaries of the known. This is one of the reasons why anxious people have difficulty differentiating between insecure attachment and love, because they did not have access to a healthy, loving, passionate relationship model which they can recreate when they grow up. This also makes so many of them go as far as coming up with excuses for their partner's unhealthy behavior, because again, our brains are going to come up with excuses, with reasons to justify the decisions and the choices that we make in our lives. The second reason why anxious people are addicted to emotionally unavailable partners is intermittent reinforcement. This is a relationship dynamic in which the partner's love and attention is inconsistent. This unpredictability gives the anxious partner a dopamine hit when they receive a reward from their partner, even if this reward is only a breadcrumb. Also, this unpredictability and inconsistency makes the anxious partner work harder in hope for the reward that he's going to get. What makes intermittent reinforcement relationships so addictive is that the relationship isn't always bad. If it was bad, it would have been easier for the anxious partner to let go. But even the most toxic relationships give the anxious partner some sort of pleasure, and this is what keeps them hooked. This partner literally becomes owned by the relationship. They build so much despair and starvation that when they get a crab, relief they experience is close to nirvana. This is what makes the relationship so addictive and so hard to leave. Of course, this is an abusive relationship dynamic, even if abuse is not intended. The third reason why anxious people are addicted to unhealthy relationships is low self-esteem. Growing up in the relationship dynamic that I just described, with love and attention being inconsistent, led people with anxious attachment to internalize the belief that they are unworthy, unlovable, or inherently flawed. This is why they prioritize their partner's needs, sacrifice their own needs, and constantly seek reassurance and validation. They overgive, overfunction, people please. They would do anything to become indispensable for their partner, because they believe that their partner is with them for what they can offer, not for who they are. And of course, this makes them mistake their partner's inability to meet their needs for inadequacy rather than a sign for emotional unavailability.